What's going on? How are ya? Just gonna do a quick live. I'll try to go live later. An actual live. But there's a ton of news, a ton of stuff. And if I'm not reading the chat, don't get upset. Don't get easily offended. Alright? I'm Rob. I do a live stream every weekday. I'm your official YouTube vibe coach. Your official vibe coach. What's up, Bandito Solus? How you guys doing? I won't be reading too much of the chat. I'm on my way to the live free or die state, folks. Live free or die is the motto of the state of New Hampshire. Yet, if I brought 3 pounds of cannabis there, I wouldn't be able to live free. Go figure. But I'm going up to that state. I hope everybody's doing well. I gotta say, one of the things I plan to talk about, there's a few things in the news. I don't even know if you've seen Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan, his interview with Hunter Biden and the Hunter Biden apology, but I believe I linked it down below. It is incredible. Incredible. I hope this makes the round. Share the story, share the video, because Hunter Biden does what every politician should be doing right now and saying, go F yourself. And then I wanted to ask people what they would think if, let's say, the British royalty came to America. And let's say you lived in a quaint town where the British royalty, the king, queen, duchess, dukes, princess, whatever, I don't know who's doing what over there. But let's say the British royalty came to your quaint little town to vacation and you saw the Royal Guard. You know those goofballs that dress up in all red and they have those huge long hats? Anybody know, what do those hats do? Do they keep weapons in the hats, like a samurai sword or ninja stars or a bow staff or maybe some sais? What do they keep in those big hats? Those hats cannot be like some kind of military gear. It just can't be like officially authorized by the military. The Royal British Guards, big black furry hats. If anybody knows, why those are like they are. Because you'd figure if you were trying to hide behind something, those big furry hats would give you away. But imagine, you lived in a quaint little town, and the Royal Guard showed up, knocking on your door, demanding to know everybody that lived in the house and all your social media handles, and wanted to see all your social media handles. Imagine if that happened. What would you say? I would say, piss off. Say, you have no authority here in the grand old land of America. But for some reason, old JD Vance, vacationing in the Cotswolds, which, goddamn luck, asshole. This is the one time, if you want to say I'm jealous of JD Vance, I'll say, yeah, I'm jealous because he's vacationing in the Cotswolds, and we're paying for it. Well, I think we should have a limit on vacations and golf for any public servants. Because as JD Vance's boss, I don't think he's earned a vacation in the Cotswolds in England. But anyways, there's rumors and reports linked down below that JD Vance's secret security is going around knocking on all the doors near where they're denying this, by the way. But what are they going to do? Say yes? This is their MO. Like, people coming into the country it's been reported on that, like, customs has taken their phone and kicked people out of the country for JD Vance memes. So this is more, I'm more likely to believe that it's happening than it's not. But again, what's being reported, linked down below, is that JD Vance, secret security, whatever they're called, the secret police, whatever they have, his regime is knocking on doors in the Cotswolds, asking for everybody who lives in their house, their social media, so they can peruse it and see if they have any memes they don't like. Donald Trump's regime, Tronald Dump, his regime is literally the comedy police, the fun police. They are literally policing memes for people coming into the country, and apparently when they go on vacation to the Cotswolds, the secret JD Vance's secret brown shirts are trying to get everybody's social media handles. Absolutely disgusting. How would you feel if the Royal Guard was here vacationing in your town? How would you feel if the Royal Guard came and they said, excuse me, but the Dukes and Duchess of Harry Pottershire are vacationing here, and we need everyone's handle that lives in the house, all your Twitter handles, your TikTok handles. We need to go through all your phones and make sure there's no offensive memes. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Go back to your little island. Are you trying to colonize my household? Get the fuck out of here. You have no authority. I hope the English told them, like, piss off, or whatever they say in England. Get out of here, you wanker. What do they say? I don't know what they say. Soulless, I can't read the chat really right now, but I know I got some mods here, Bandito and Soulless, so if anybody gets out of hand like they're an old person on Roblox, then put them in a check. Put them in check. Beautiful day out, right after the rain, huge rainstorm. And then the other thing, yeah, by the way, thank you, Timothy, good to see you. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob, I'm your official vibe coach. We do news commentary every single weekday. I'm doing an impromptu live stream because I got some time to kill. I got some stuff to do. I'm going to the Live Free or Die state. You ever been there? New Hampshire? It's the biggest joke around. It's run by these old white dudes who have said, if you try to put any cannabis reform on my desk, I'll banish it. Banish it to the public restroom stops where no one goes. But no, seriously, if you look it up, you go to Normal's website. I have a couple photos, hold on. New Hampshire, look, it's all surrounded by green. Every state, including Canada, above it, has legalized cannabis. All of them. We've all legalized cannabis. You just got to be a 21-year-old adult. Just got to be an adult. But somehow New Hampshire, the Live Free or Die state, still says, you bring that weed, you bring that cannabis in our state, we'll put you in jail. Live free or die my ass. You guys are a joke. Oh, Canada. And they legalized it nationally. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. And the other news story, I don't know if you've seen this, but I included the YouTube channel down below. Thank you to Soulless, big shout out. Soulless put me on to the internet news of the day. And I've heard this before. This is not a news story, but it's getting some attention again because Roblox, is it a breeding ground for groomers? I don't know. If you are a parent, you know Roblox. And, you know, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Roblox is. But it's an amazing story that this kid Schlepp, that's not his name, but the YouTuber Schlepp, link down below. Everything, again, that I plan to talk about, link down below. The Hunter Biden apology, the JD Vance story of his secret police knocking on doors in the Cotswold, England, asking for everybody's social media so they can, I don't know, what are they going to do? They don't have authority to arrest anybody. They can't kick anybody out of their own home. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hold on. Oh, no. Goddamn phone thing. You know what? We're going to go rogue. Here we go. There we go. But JD Vance's Secret Service they're denying that they're knocking on doors asking for people's social media handles. They're denying it. But we all know how this regime rolls. They're the comedy police. Even though Elon Musk, he made comedy legal. Apparently he didn't have that job while he was in government. But that story too, where they deny it. Even though wasn't it a Norwegian kid that was coming into the country and got sent back home because he had the JD Vance meme on his phone? Like, goddamn, man. America is no longer the land of the free speech, none of that. They're sending people home for memes. So that's the rumors going around England. That's what they're alleging and reporting on. And that's what, you know, English journalists with their highfalutin accent are saying that's happening. That's what the Cotswoldians, I don't know what you call them, the people in the Cotswolds. And for all you maggots that are here in the chat, and just to be clear, I only call maggots the ones who are still defending Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. And you guys are a minority. Just know that nobody likes Donald. They're using him as a means to an end. And even the people who are using him for his authority and his heartless, ruthless profit over everything, including people, even those people are backing out. So if you're still standing by old Donnie, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend Trump, my God, you are the rat who will not leave the sinking ship. And usually I say God bless you, but I'll say what they say in the South. Bless your heart. But back to the news headlines. Roblox, this kid Schlepp, 22-year-old YouTuber. He's been, I don't know how long he's been doing this, but he's been outing or catching, is like to catch a predator on Roblox, which is wild because this kid's young. And in the video I linked, which again, Solus, thank you for putting me onto this, because Penguin ZO, I don't know what his real YouTube name is either, but he's a big YouTuber, Philly DeFranco, who kind of does news too on YouTube. I just do bias news, you know, like I'm for the people. You see my stickers, I'm for the unions, for the people. I'm the one who says politicians, if you're a president, you get 3 golf trips a year. You can't golf every weekend. No. We're going to put a ban on that. And we're going to abolish golf. Let's make golf illegal and cannabis legal. How about that? Who's for that? I can't read the chat, so just put a thumbs up or a smiley face if you want to let's outlaw golf and let's in-law cannabis. But the maggots, before we get back to the Roblox story, the maggots are the hardcore ones. So when I call them out, if you're like a single issue voter who voted for Trump because you thought, I don't know, something stupid, and you're willing to like have a discussion and be like, oh, he's rotting our country from the inside out, then you know what? We're here for you. We need to smarten you up, because anybody who can fall for Donald Dump's rhetoric is, you know, maybe you're weak and vulnerable. Maybe you're like a child on Roblox being groomed. I don't know, but we got to smarten you the fuck up. So when I address the maggots, just know that, because they're a bunch of babies. They're always whining in the chat. They say like 4 different things, and 3 of them are Trump 2028, MAGA, Trump's a goat, and we're just like, shut up. You know what? We understand that to mean that you're defending Epstein Island. That's all we hear. That's all we hear. So now that I address that, because, you know, there are some new people here. Release the Epstein files, Pep 151 or whatever your name is. That's right. Release them. You know what an innocent president would do? Someone who wasn't best friends with with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, somebody that wasn't, like if JD Vance does become president, whatever, those rumors, an innocent guy who was never best friends with Epstein, you know what they do? Release the files. They'd be like, I don't give a shit. I'm not in them. That's what 99% of us would do, except for Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, and Donald Jeffrey's best friend, Trump. So just release the files and it'd be over. You might have heard about it. There are these predators, these dudes. And I'm saying dudes because in the few things I've seen, it's all dude mugshots. And this young YouTuber who has been on Roblox for a while, he made a whole YouTube channel out of like catching these predators that were going on there. And Roblox sent him a cease and desist letter, and banned his accounts. And I'm like, all right, number one, the CEO, David Baszucka, whatever his name is, he's worth $8.1 billion. David, I got an idea. If you got a kid that's that dedicated to getting these child predators off your site, you fucking hire him. Okay, you don't ban him. Again, people, I try to wake people up. Don't listen to what their words are. Listen to what their actions are. All right? People will tell you more about themselves, what actions they take. And for the CEO of Roblox to allow this kid to get banned when he was cleaning up their games and servers and putting these people on blast and, you know, notifying the authorities and doing all this work for free. Well, not for free, but making content out of it. But still, how do you not, like, it's amazing to me that these people, again, remember folks, corporations are not your friends. This is a hard lesson for people to understand, but this is a prime example of corporations are not your friends. All right? This kid, Schlepp, YouTube link down below, was making these videos, catching people, reporting them, doing all the right things, all the right moves, just like the movie. He had all the right moves. Maybe he has some night moves. Cue up the Bob Seger. And instead of like rewarding this kid with being like, hey, thank you, man, we'll give you a Roblox badge of honor or some shit. I don't know. Don't you got to pay for those badges with Robux? But, you know, they could have given him a special badge in the game or some, I don't know, something. But instead, because he was exposing it and they're only into partnerships for money, that's the other shocking thing. And some of these stories I linked down below, you know what's crazy? To learn that Roblox, when they work with developer, when like kids make these games, Roblox takes 70% and leaves the developers who make the games 30%. That's the wildest, most crazy percentage take I've ever heard of. And I worked in entertainment for a long time, and I've never heard of 730 going to your agent. Like, that's fucking nuts. This is why you developers on Roblox, you guys all need to jump together and start a union. You guys need to organize, communicate, you know? But anyways, this isn't a class war lesson. Well, it is, because corporations are not your friends. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is life knowledge, folks. But instead of offering this kid, Schlepp, this YouTuber, some kind of like, I don't know, thank you. They didn't even send him a thank you note, you know? Like, he's literally gotten people busted for gnarly stuff they're doing with kids. And kids just want to play games. You know, like, they should be able to have fun. Imagine when I was growing up, if you went on Mario Brothers and had to worry about some dude posing as King Koopa telling you that he wants to meet up at some point. My God, what is the world turned into? I couldn't imagine going on. We didn't even have it connected to the internet. That blew me away when I was like, wait, you need to connect to the internet to play these games? We used to just have a cartridge and you had to blow in it real hard to make sure it played. And then you had to turn the channel to 2 or 3. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, folks. But this is how we used to play video games, all right? You understand me? We didn't have to worry about people buying cool skins to impress us. You couldn't buy a skin. You just had to beat the damn level. I'm almost in the live free or die state, folks. Check your pockets. Make sure there's no seeds, stems, roaches, nothing. Because live free or die just means they don't have an income tax and you can buy a gun at, I don't know, like, who knows? Who knows? Oh, yeah. But live free or die state does not mean you can bring cannabis into the state. How dumb is that? Fuck you, New Hampshire. You guys suck. Every other state, I showed the map. Every other state circle in this one. You just go into a store and buy it. It's legal. Even Canada. In 2018, Canada was like, oh, we're just going to make it federally legal. This is stupid. You know? Everybody's following places of the United States, even though the United States just did it to be racist. Go look up your drug war facts. Oh, there's the freaking state troopers. Oh my God. Yeah, did everybody check your pockets? I told you. They are out and looking for cannabis here in New Hampshire. I know their motto says live free or die, but that does not mean cannabis. That is a high crime here. What a joke this state is. How could you drive past an imaginary line in every direction from this state and just be a legal adult, but then you come to the live free or die state and they'll put you in jail? Oh God, America is so twisted sometimes. I don't get it. Anyways, hi, Kieran O'Connor, Dear Ditch. How are ya? I assumed you're Irish because of the name. Sorry. Maybe you're just one of Macaulay Culkin's cousins. I don't know. Is he Irish? You would assume with a name like that. McCulkin. I believe in Gaelic, McCulkin means the one who was left alone at home. But my Irish is weak, so don't take my word for it. Oh, good luck seeing me, guys. How's that for your son? It's 42. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sorry, I haven't been able to read any of the chat, but I'll pull over here in a minute, okay? Don't you worry. Don't you worry, sweet little hat out. Jesus. You can tell I'm heading east, can you? Do you guys know how to read the sun for your directions? I believe the ancient warlocks, most ancient civilizations, they read the stars and the moon. The ancient warlocks read the sun for directions. Isn't that amazing? That's what Trump does all day long. That fucking guy just makes stuff up. He just makes things up, and people are like, oh yeah, so it's really smart. Like, shut up. He's so dumb. Okay, get the fuck out of my way. All right, I'm gonna pack over here. All right, guys. All right, guys. All right, guys. I'll read the chat. All right. Kieran and O'Connor. Oh, you're definitely from Ireland if you're saying free Palestine. Is it morning or night? Well, if the sun's in the west, I'll let you figure that out on your own. And that's not like a 10th grade physics question or something. Animations and stuff. Love you. Or LOL. You guys are mad now? The good stuff hasn't even started yet. Nice sweat stains. I'm sure you know all about the sun. In Evering hippie? Cammy Marshall. What's wrong with being a hippie? How about you shut your filthy mouth? Hold on. I'm trying to go back and see. Solus, if you're still here, what? Hold on. Let me go all the way back. God, that sun is so bright. I want to see what Solus said. Damn, this chat is going off. Solus, I don't know if I could get... Okay, I can get back to it. I've wondered about those hats too. Yeah, the Royal Guard. We're going to get to that. Oh, Discord. Solus linked the Discord. I can't find the off topic. Oh, so this guy Schlepp has gotten 6 arrests on Roblox. He said. I can't find your other comment if you want to type it again. Again, I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the little thumbs up button, hit every button on your phone. Just fucking slap it. Who gives a shit? Yeah, we got a Discord. It's 42. Solus put in the thing. It was about the Roblox thing. Yeah, so this is the crazy part. This dude's got 6 arrests, Schlepp, and he makes a video. I don't know when it was released. I linked it down below. I would highly encourage you to watch it. It's only like 8 minutes long, and share it because it's really heinous. And especially in today, like I want to tell David Basssucker, I don't know, the CEO, he's worth 8.1 billion and he can't afford mods, you know? Like, this is why people shouldn't have that much money, because if your actions tell us that you're going to kick the people, you're going to cease and desist and ban the people who are doing good work on your platform, who are protecting kids, because as he shared in his video, it happened to him when he was younger. And if he, you know, has taken it upon himself to make sure kids are safe on your platform, like, give him a job, you know, a good paying job. You're worth 8 billion. You couldn't spend that in 100 lifetimes. Hi, Casey White. Mint, no cinnamon. Vanilla Danella. Cool name. B Moon, how many maggots does it take to change a light bulb? 0. He says it's fixed, and they just clap and cheer in the dark. I gotta steal that. Thank you. That was a good one. Use them to quit smoking. Yeah, me too. Good for you. Awesome. But so. Sorry. Sorry. Everybody take a moment to read your Bible today. Everything that I showed you, by example, that by working hard this way, you must help the weak and remember the words of Jesus. He said himself, it is more blessed and brings greater joy to give than to receive. There's your daily Bible. Okay, folks? And here's the story I was talking about. The police denied the claims. Oh, really? They're denying the claims? In case you don't know what we're talking about, we'll get back to Roblox. Sorry, I'm skipping everywhere. I got 80 LMNOP, 80 QRZ, 80 Joe Rogan DD. But the Cotswolds in England is where JD Vance is vacationing. And there are people saying that the Secret Service has been knocking on doors, asking people who's living there and the details of their social media. And this dude was reporting on it, if you want to watch it, at the news agents. I love the British accent. And then they're like, the Secret Service is like, we deny those claims. But you could just go back and look at all the people that they kicked out of this country for memes on their phone. Oh, what a bunch of babies. Fun, please. Where's Elon Musk? I thought comedy was legal. Is it only the comedy that you like, you bunch of babies? Fucking babies. And then, oh yeah, here's the headline. Link down below. I love the Hindustan Times. I don't know why, but they provide some good content. And then I'm in this state. If you're wondering, New Hampshire's laws and penalties. Don't vacation here. I'll tell you that much. Every other state, you see that? Every other state's green. They're all, cannabis is legal. Even Canada, as provided. Canada legalizes. But if you bring cannabis over a third of an ounce, you could get a year in jail in the live free or die state. Aw, what a cute dog. I say they change their motto and say tax free but no cannabis. That's what they should say. Were you on the radio in San Diego back in the day? Vinny DeRosa, I was. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Vinny. That's cool. I caught that comment because the comments, I'm scrolled way far back. Holy shit. Sammy Miko, he thinks he's so cool. That dog does. That's why it's chirping out the side. You heard that dog too? That dog thinks it's cool AF. And I can't really disagree. I love animals. Elon is in hiding right now. Yeah, hopefully from ICE. When you get a chance, do the research on the reopening of the jail in Tennessee for ICE. They lied to their voters. Oh, interesting. Well, I just seen that they're opening at Fort Bliss or something. I forget what it's called. Some fort in Texas. They're spending $1.2 billion of our tax money to start another prison. Guys, when are you going to wake up? When are people going to all get on the same page and be like, how do you have over $1 billion to do prison? But, we're like, hey, price of groceries, it's gross. Rob, Trump is a felon loved by the Christians in my party, and they should not love him. I already showed you guys your Bible verse of the day. Okay? You working hard in this way, you must help the weak and remember the words that giving is better than receiving. And that's not even Jesus saying it. That's Paul saying it, I believe. What is this? Acts? Yeah, that's Paul. I don't like Paul. Fuck him. I like what Jesus says. Get a job, hippie. Get out of my live stream, you fascist. Kieran, yeah, the old trickle-down economics. The only part of that's true is the trick part. They tricked everybody. Yeah, they do worship Trump, not God. Matthew, you misspelled God. You meant to spell Trump. Tronald Dump. Christine Home is like a box of chocolates. Don't both kill your dog. Earth's Apprentice. That was a fire one. Holy shnikes. I wasn't in that. That's a good joke when you're not expecting it. Oh man, that's funny. Strom. I'm hoping God calls Trump home. I don't know what that means because I've been hoping that Satan calls him back. But, if you think God does, I'm saying, is the devil busy or something right now? God gave Paul the words to say. Yeah, but, God also is quoted in that book. I just like his words, not the other people's words. But, pick and choose as you will, just like all the MAGA Christians. They're like, condemn the weak and criminalize the homeless. I'm still looking for that part of the Bible, but, GMT 1776 is an anti-American. Whenever you support Trump, just know you're supporting Epstein Island, him hiding the Epstein files, his best friendship with Epstein, him wishing Ghislaine Maxwell well, and his eradication of due process and criminalizing people that are just homeless, including veterans in this country. So just be careful what you say, folks, because people will understand what you mean. Everyone else waiting on that $5,000 check. Oh, Timothy, have you guys not got your Doge efficiency check? Remember when Elon was in the government and he was like, I'm doing efficiency stuff. Maybe he's an idiot and doesn't know what efficiency means. Because he told a bunch of government employees to stay home and not work, but they'll still pay him or pay them. And he spent $14 billion paying people to not work. So I don't know. Maybe words don't matter and the definition of efficiency doesn't matter anymore. But you know, to each their own, to each their own. Um, wait. Oh shoot! I didn't grab a photo of the Roblox story, but again, I highly encourage you because this is big news. And that kid, Schlep, he's asking people to share his story. Obviously, some big YouTubers have picked it up. I don't understand why Mr. Beast doesn't. Well, I think I might, because you know the accusations against Mr. Beast are some of the things that this dude was trying to weed out of the virtual platform known as the blocks. But it's absolutely horrifying that, an $8 billion CEO in charge of a company that mainly focuses on kids, entertainment, and gaming is getting rid of and cease and desist and banning this kid who is helping to clean up his platform. And this is when I say watch people's actions, because, realistically, if you're worth that much money, be like, hey, kid, you want to work for me? You obviously got a good heart. You're doing this, just for your YouTube channel. Let's put you to work. And why don't you get all these scumbags out of here? So I don't know why the CEO would be protecting the scumbags. Again, read the room, David Bass Sucker, whatever his name is. Because, if you're going to stand on that side, when people say, oh, you're a hater, this, that. Yeah, we absolutely hate these predators. The people that are abusing kids. We hate them. So, some of this chat is real weird, man. Some of you people I'll be suspect of online. Some of you people. Samuel McCandles is talking about ice. Says 50K, about to buy a house. Where do you live? In buttfuck Kentucky? 50K for a house? What do you buy? Do you define a house as a car? Again, you Trumpers with your definitions. You're like, I'm buying a house. A 4-door V6 house. Manual. Buying a manual house. Oh, Jesus. Some of you people are fucking so dumb. You can't buy a house for 50K, but, again, corporations are not your friend. The housing crisis is manufactured. We don't need more houses. And whenever you say, we're going to take our country back, you got to take it back from the people who have all the power, folks, not from the most vulnerable. That's just what Jesus said. Jesus said, treat the vulnerable, the weak, kindly. Work hard for them. Police cam reactions. You said no one is going to jail for being homeless. That's not true, police cam. Again, Donald Trump, just the other day, we talked about it. Go watch my old feed. Or just use Google. Jesus. Use DuckDuckGo. And just look up Donald Trump criminalized homeless. And you'll see multiple different outlets, probably including Fox News or Newsmax or whatever, Tucker Carlson or whatever you get your stuff from, because he's encouraging different states to criminalize homelessness. And if you haven't seen on YouTube the videos of different agencies going through and destroying homeless camps and arresting the homeless. Well, here's the thing. I have people that I love that are homeless, and I can tell you their only crime was being homeless when they got a record. So, police cam, I don't know if you just, want to come in here and lie about things, or, you just claim and you just feel like it's not, but it's just bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely bullshit. What do you think a loitering law is for someone who has nowhere to go? What do you think that is? That's a manufactured criminalizing homeless. God, we need to wake people up, because if you can't read between the lines, or when Donald Trump says we need to criminalize, he said homelessness, police cam, okay? Number one, homelessness. people with mental health and people with addiction. He wants to criminalize it. And I specifically had a whole live stream talking about Rutger Bregman, the Dutch historian's book, Utopia for Realists, and said how it saves the taxpayer money if you just give them houses and counseling. If you just provide the solution, because homelessness, the solution is a home, not jail. That just creates more people into the system for this for-profit prison industry. But again, some people are just like, well, I've heard this my whole life, and Charlie Kirk, who dropped out of community college, told me. Yeah, there are some bootlickers. That's right, Gary Good, doing good work in the comments section. So James looks twice. Liberals crying. I'm not a liberal. I'm the radical woke left. Shut up. I don't know why. There's nobody I've met more over the past 10 years that cries and gets offended than MAGA. Okay? What did that dude say? He did like 86-47, which 86 means like to bounce somebody. I know that from the pager days. We used to have beepers and you spoke in code. Let's 86 and 420. Let's bounce and smoke. So 86-47, and MAGA got hilariously upset. I mean, there's a bucket list of things that I was talking about the Norwegian kid who had the JD Vance meme and they didn't let him into America. I mean, MAGA has never been more sensitive than today. I mean, just look at Donald Dump, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, as he's known here on the channel. Rosie O'Donnell said something to him. Well, it's all distraction. Everything he throws is a distraction. But he's like, I'm going to revoke her citizenship. People who are not scared and are not easily shaken, don't have a fragile ego, they're not looking to revoke citizenships. Your definition of, who shares tears and who doesn't is funny. Jesus is coming, brother, soon. If you don't understand, you will. Michael, Jesus said like a thief in the night, you will not know the time. For nobody knows the time, Michael. How dare you? How dare you? For ages, they've said Jesus is coming. I'm pretty sure the disciples were like, Jesus is coming back. And then he did. And Timothy, old Doubting Tim. Thomas. Doubting Thomas. That's who it was. Old Doubting Thomas had to stick his hands right through Jesus' holes. He was like, go ahead, old Doubty Tommy. And then he was poking Doubting Thomas, if you don't know the story, when Jesus returned. The reason they call him Doubting Thomas is because Thomas didn't believe it. And then Jesus showed up in the room and was like, go ahead. And Thomas had to put his hands through where the holes were that they hammered in. I bet Jesus, oh man, Doubting Thomas never lived that down. That's the story of the Bible they don't share with you. That like till Thomas's last days, where he was probably eaten by lions or something for being a Christian, those boys never let him down. That's my TV show. What happened to the disciples after? Well, did they break Thomas's balls? Remember that time Thomas didn't think Jesus returned from heaven? Oh, Thomas, you're not going to get a good seat. Samuel McCandles. There we go. Now that we get some honesty out of the MAGAs, he says, I would deport Jesus right now. We know, because you use Christianity as a weapon. You don't use it as like something to do good. But anyways, Roblox, folks. We were talking about some news. Share this schlep video like Solar shared with me. He got 6 people arrested. And these are the worst of the worst. Again, these are like people who are committing Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell crimes. Like they are going after kids. And it's just crazy to me in this day and age that Roblox wouldn't take this kid who is doing, defeating these predators on their platform and give him a job and, reward him or like highlight him, be like, look at this. But instead they take it, again, watch their actions. They're like, oh my God, this guy's highlighting what we're allowing. Because obviously they're $1 billion company. Their CEO is worth $8 billion. If he wanted to just be worth $7 billion, he could employ more mods. So don't believe what they tell you, when they're like, our profits are down. And it's like, really? Well, down from last quarter, but they're up 28%. It's like, it's all trickery. It's all fuckery, folks. So it's so, yeah, LLS, it blows my mind too. And that's why I'm talking about this. And, everybody, I would imagine everyone has a kid. No, not everybody has a kid. This isn't Elon Musk's dream world, but everybody has like a niece, nephew, kid. It was a kid. So, Roblox is huge. It is probably the number one platform for kids, to play games on because it's free, it's easily accessible. And it's just repulsive that these people won't, like watch your actions. Because if not, you're going to hell. Or at least I would imagine so. Because what Jesus says, again, Jesus, we talked about this the other day. Jesus said, it would be better for you to tie a rock around your neck and walk into the ocean than to make a child stumble. So it's insane. It's insane what these people are doing. D. Hetrick. Northern Indiana, Southern Michigan is core area. Well, I heard in one of the videos that he was mentioning, he talked about that area, that Illinois, was it Illinois, Indiana, Michigan area. But I mean, it's just wild. And you see how these corporations, these wealthy elites, including Donald Trump, Jeff Epstein's best friend, they're all protecting him, And the people who speak out against it, I mean, I really like this kid Schlepp. I'd never seen him until Soulless. Thank you for sharing me the link. And I shared it down in the description down below. But this kid, in some of his videos, he's even quoting like George Orwell's 1984, where he's like, the last order from the party was to, ignore what your eyes and ears told you. It was the most important order. And I'm like, yo, this kid, I can't believe at 22, I really have, as much as some stuff sucks in this world, guys, when I see stories like this of these kids taking it upon themselves because, and again, like I talk about, because I've experienced a lot of tragic and suffering. I've just experienced a lot in my life, right? And when you've had that happen to you, you almost, something inside of you like eternally wants to not allow other people to have to experience such suffering. And this kid who says he's only 22 and does these YouTube channels, he's open about it, which is so brave. He's like, yo, it happened to me. And from then I was destined. He was like, my fate was sealed. I knew I had to try to save other kids. And it's so remarkable and so incredible. And then you have these $8 billion CEOs that are like, and I say him because if these CEOs want to take, for anyone who wants to defend him and be like, you think the CEO? Yes. If you're the CEO, you don't get to just fucking rah-rah shish boom bah when your stocks are up, and there's a good idea. But like a real team leader, when you fail, you take that failure on. This is when here's another life lesson. Again, I'm Rob, I'm your vibe coach. Try to teach you stuff from my life experiences. So hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. But when I was a manager in radio and I hired people, when we failed, that was my failure. What did I not teach? What did I not do? And when we succeeded, that was my guys. My guys did it. And my ladies. I have one lady working with me. And that's good management, okay? For all you out there, if you ever manage, you take the loss on your chin and you try to figure out what you did wrong, even if you did everything right. And when you succeed, even if you had to put them on your shoulders, you turn around and you say, that's a team win. Good job, guys. Nothing to do with me. So, Jon Stewart for president. Yeah, long bong. Yeah, long bong. So there's your free advice. Where you I had interactions in past in church radio. Hard to understand, but no. I8DB, actually good advice. Yeah. And I only tell you guys this stuff because I'm your official vibe coach. You have a vibe coach. Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, those scumbags who would just take your money and basically share nothing. They always say, people want a coach. People want my life experience. No, they don't. Dean Graziosi was sued by the federal government and had to pay people because he ran a real estate fraud thing. I have videos on it. But I do believe people like good advice. I do believe that when you earn that wisdom, you share it. That's how the world gets better. All CEOs are failures. Their success has nothing to do with you. Okay. Cholesterol 2025. Long bong. You better hit subscribe and the notification bell. I need you coming back. I need you coming back with the comments like that. I happened to be in DC and asked them where they were. Okay, I'm not a part of that conversation. I don't know what's going on. Well, CEOs should all be replaced by AI. But more important, folks, this Roblox story, if you were unaware of it, I wanted to share it. I highly suggest you watch the video yourself, and be careful, teach your kids, and just, it takes a community. And that's really where, like, moments like this, when I've only seen like a couple other big YouTubers talk about it, you always wonder, like, Mr. Beast, you're the biggest dude on YouTube. You could do so much good in the world instead of just making videos about look at how great I am. I cured blindness. And it's like, yeah, you could do it in a different way. You could use your influence, in a better way. I always think it's suspect that people aren't like, especially anybody in that community, that niche, or touching upon that niche. If they haven't heard about it, that's one thing. But if they have, this is a time to stand in solidarity with this kid Schlep. And I'm just a tiny, tiny ass channel. That's why I say hit subscribe and the notification bell. But trust me, once I crack a milli, oh man, I'm going to say, Schlep, here's how you organize, okay? We need to organize together because we have the power, people. Don't forget, there's more of us than there are of them. That's why they are the 1%. And people get washed in that, they totally, totally forget. Some of these comments, birds of a feather. That's right. That's right, birds. And that's what I'm trying to get people to see. When the Roblox CEO, again, he's in charge of the ship right now. This is a huge news story. He got a cease and desist. That means Roblox lawyers got involved. I'm sure he caught wind of this. The Roblox CEO, his actions were to ban the kid catching the bad guys, the predators on Roblox, instead of, I don't know, if I was CEO, you don't have to pay me $8 billion, but I would hire him and pick his brain for all the advice ever. I'd be like, you're 22 and doing this? That's fucking brilliant, man. How do we get you on? How do we make our platform safer? But instead, this kid Schlep is even showing how the Roblox CEO, he plays a video of him, which I thought was fascinating, because the Roblox CEO, while interviewed, I think it was Australian 60 Minutes, which they are awesome. Watch that 60 Minutes. They don't pull no punches. But the Roblox CEO says, well, if you're worried about your kids on Roblox, don't let them go on. And it's like, that's your fucking answer? How are you worth $8 billion? Like, who did you know? Who's your parents? Who bought you into this game? Because with that kind of mentality where you say shit like, oh, if you're worried, then just don't have your kids on it. It's like, you fucking dumb. Just tell us, I don't care. Just say, I don't care what happens. Because his mentality, the CEO of Roblox mentality of like, if you're worried, then just don't have your kids go on. It's like, what you're saying is like, my website's going to be dangerous and you're just rolling the dice. And I want you to think about that in terms of real life. Like, there are real humans that have been affected by this, Schlep being one of them. This YouTuber say, like, I was, manipulated and had some horrible things happen in his life. And again, watch his own video. We're talking about Roblox, Albert. Also, they said he was catching predators the wrong way by presenting to be an underage child, but that's the same law enforcement uses. Yeah, Solus. But my thing is, like, there's no wrong way when you're catching a predator outside of, like, the legalese stuff. Like, when this kid Schlep talks about, he's like, I wasn't entrapping people, which the cops even do. But you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm like, I don't know. Let's weigh the risks, or let's weigh the good versus the bad. This guy catches a predator and you're like, well, he did it the wrong way. I'm like, what's the fucking wrong? Are you serious? How are you worth $8 billion? There's no wrong way when this kid is filming it all, putting it online, making binders full of the chats. You know what I mean? Like, he's recording himself, so he's clearly thinking he's doing it the right way. He's reporting them. Like, this is what drove me so nuts about it, Solus. And you're a young head, so this is what I try to teach people to think like. That you got to understand that when he says shit like, oh, they said I was doing it the wrong way. It's like, guys, outside of like violence and entrapment and those like clearly illegal things, you know, like I do not promote any of that stuff. Um, but outside of that, like any other way, especially him making videos about it, I'm like, there's no wrong way. There's no wrong way. You're cleaning up. You're getting rid of what all these so-called, you know, political heads want, is like cleaning up crime and get rid of the deep state traffickers and the, you know, the predators. And it's like this kid was doing it. I don't understand how this isn't a bipartisan issue. Ro Khanna, I shared in my community post, has a petition. Please sign it. Because there's no, it's like, what was that thing? There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. It's like, there's no wrong way to catch a fucking predator, man. I hate to break it to you, but we got to steal Reese's Pieces and peanut butter cups saying there's no wrong way to bust the predator. But again, we're living in a day and age where Donald DJT, Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend Trump, will not release the Epstein files. And an innocent, I'm just saying this, if you were innocent, like if I had the files, I wouldn't give a shit. I would put them all out there. I'd be like, why? I'm not affected. Like, who gives a shit? And even Donald Trump was like, you know, well, we don't want it to ruin people's lives. Well, you hide all the victims' names. So whose lives are you ruining? Are you talking about the predators, the people associated with him? Fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, this is so simple, folks, and somehow people are like bending over backwards to defend it. But again, like Reese's Pieces said, there's no wrong way to catch a predator. I'm not on any side of the government. I'm a poor person. That's right, e-baginator. What I like to tell people and remind people is we ain't from the left or the right. We're from the bottom and we're coming for the top. How are you worth $8 billion and sending a cease and desist and banning a kid that's 22 for catching predators on your platform and telling him he did it the wrong way? It's like, you don't get to do that. Fuck you. You're wrong. Man, I hope this kid, I hope people rally behind him, and I hope Roblox realizes their error. Because this is probably just to protect their image, which hopefully blows up in their face, you know? Because it should be a safe place for kids. And if your $8 billion CEO is like, oh, there's no way to mod it, it's like there clearly is. This 22-year-old cracked the code. He's doing it. Hire him. So we need people to see that, you know, it's just, he needs $9 billion instead of 6. And I say, fucking, you need $0 billion. Just be a 999 millionaire. What are you doing with all that money? Like accumulating it for your great grandkids? Like, piss off. Wings of the same bird. None of ya Binny. None of ya Binny. I like that. I like that name. Wait, what's been debunked? I'm missing some of the stuff. The other thing is, if you guys didn't see, I'll link this video down below. The Andrew Callahan. Where is it? Oh yeah, Melania. Again, you know, these people are not sensitive. They don't cry. They don't get upset. Melania Dump demands $1 billion retraction from Hunter Biden over Epstein claims. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this, I've talked about Michael Wolff. He was the biographer for Donald Trump. He has a lot of insight and inside information. And he published a thing. He published a video, or no, not a video. He published, he published like an article or something in a book. In Michael Wolff's book, it said like Jeff introduced Melania to Dump. And that their connections are like so wide and deep. Oh, no, wait. That's what Hunter said. But Hunter was quoting Michael Wolff, and this, you can Google this. Like, this is all, you know, it was retracted, but again, who knows why. And the easy thing is like, if you just release the Epstein files, guess what? We can figure this all out. Oh, ABC News. A rift between Melania Trump and Hunter Biden is escalated. Even ABC News. Oh, look, the lamestream media is going to cover it. Let's see their position on it. Because I linked the video down below. It's Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan. I don't know. He's got a G in his last name somewhere. Gallagher. Is he related to Gallagher? Remember the comic? He used to smash watermelons. But Hunter, in the first interview, if you didn't see it, it's pretty good, talks about this, right? And then they released the video yesterday or today Channel 5 said, oh, we have a $1 billion piece of paper in our hands. It's a $1 billion lawsuit. Melania Trump issuing a legal notice saying, oh, you're defaming me. And he says, Andrew says to Hunter, he says, you have to apologize and delete the video. And he says, so are you going to apologize? And Hunter Biden goes, fuck you. I was like, that's awesome. That's not having liberal tears, as somebody said in the chat. And Hunter then explained, like, oh, well, if they want to do this, if they want to go forward, they have to go into a deposition, be sworn under oath, which they don't give a shit, you know. I've seen cops lie under oath plenty of times, folks. You think the president gives a fuck? He don't care. Nothing means nothing to him. Make them swear on money. You know, that's what they should do. They should make them swear on all their Bitcoin and stock things. And if they get caught lying, all their money gets taken away. That's what we should do instead of the Bible. Because these elites, these Donald Trumps and these corporate CEOs, they don't worship nothing but money. Jesus said, you can't worship two gods. You can't worship money and God. And they only worship money. So I say instead of the Bible, we should do it on a stack of cash. And if they get caught lying, all their money is taken. All of it. Fuck them. Then they'll tell the truth, right? But Hunter goes and explains. He's like, if they want to pursue this legal thing with me, he said, Melania's going to have to sit for a deposition. Trump could even sit for a deposition. He says, you know, like Bill Clinton had to at some point. He said, so I'm all for it because then let's get this out in the air. You know, you just prove that it's fake and we're good. And couldn't they do that? Just release the files, folks. So here's some more of the story. Again, I'll link this down below. Hunter jumped into the fray earlier this month, saying that it was beyond a doubt that the president and Epstein were very close friends, and that the ex-offender introduced Trump to the future first lady in the late 90s. Again, that's from the book. And then Melania started having liberal tears, and she seeks to cover damage from overwhelming financial and reputational harm. And then, he did that. Andrew Callaghan. He cited a Daily Beast article that was based on claims from Trump biographer Michael Wolff. The Beast retracted that story after receiving a letter from Melania's lawyer. They're all receiving letters. That's how you know someone may not be telling the truth. If they're all sending letters to sue, but none of them will sit for a deposition. Remember, Donald Trump sued Roger, what's his name? The Fox News guy, the Australian. And Roger, Wall Street Journal dude, was like, yeah, let's go. You know, let's sit in deposition. Because if you're telling the truth, you don't care. But it was interesting. That's what the journalist wrote. Again, I linked all these articles down below if you want to read it for yourself. But that is big news, and go watch Callaghan. I'm gold leader. Callaghan. Well, that's how you pronounce it. I like to pronounce all of the letters in his last name and not leave any out. I don't want any letters to feel lonelier than the others. No left or right in the real world, just saying. Yeah. I'm glad. See, more people, the G is silent. To you, where are you from where you don't pronounce your G's? When you see, like, are you from somewhere where, like, you have gold-plated stuff and you're like, look, there's the old. And people are like, old? And you're like, yeah, the G is silent. I'm fucking with you. Oh, Vermont. I'm up in New Hampshire right now, the live free or die state, where if you brought more than an ounce of cannabis here, you go to jail. What a joke this state is. I'm gold leader. You know where the concept of left or right came from? I don't know. Please tell us. They call it St. John's, the cocaine island. Oh, really? But let us know, gold leader. But yeah, someone was saying, you know, it's not left or right. Bottom come for the top. And people need to understand that like I try to position, I try to tell people, hit subscribe and notification bell, because I try to share my wisdom being on the spinning rock for so many decades. That right now we have an all red political establishment, and you're seeing how we're being devastated. Businesses are closing, prices are going up, the due process is gone. They're kicking people out of the country for memes on their phone. I thought comedy was legal. But if we got an all blue government, folks, we're not getting universal health care. Like, that's not how it works. They don't give a shit. And that's why we need to get, I've always advocated for this. Once you hit the retirement age, actually 55, you shouldn't be president anymore. 55 and older, no more president. Sorry, you're too old. If you don't understand what TikTok does and you can't post a fat video, shows how old I am. I called it fat. If you can't post a Skibbity Rizma video, then you don't get to be president. But I've also said, you shouldn't have a net worth above something, and your net worth can't go above something. Today I was thinking we should have a limit on presidential. I'll get to the super chat in a minute. She was kind of ugly. Oh, she was kind of ugly. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. FDT, fuck Donald Trump. Appreciate you. I like that. Thank you so much for the super chat. But the things that we need to eradicate in politicians or in politics in America is the age. No more over 55 president. If we have a minimum wage, you should have a maximum net worth. You shouldn't be able to run for president if you're worth more than some amount of, the nation's average thing. And you shouldn't be able to garner wealth either. No more trading stocks. And we should also limit, because the taxpayers are paying for when you go golfing and go on vacation. You should have you should have as many vacations as the Americans are guaranteed a year. 0. There's no federal paid time off guaranteed. You have to earn it all. So he should have to earn it just like every American. Remember, we are the president's boss. He is a public servant. So these are all the things I advocate for. I think these changes can only make it better. We get money out of politics. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. F Hulk Hogan. Fuck you, Hulk. I hope he can hear me down there. Anyways. Wait, what's going on? No Democrats or the walking cowards? Yeah, I say no more wars. No more money to wars until people have fully paid for health care with their taxes and billionaires' taxes. The French Parliament used to sit on the left and the right of the aisle based on their affiliation. Oh, really? That's interesting, Gold Leader. Thank you. He says the way we got the left and right is because the French Parliament used to sit on the left or right of the aisle based on their affiliation. That's cool. That's cool. And she was kind of ugly. Thank you for the super chat. I hope you know that means a lot. That's really cool of you. Oh, Alma's here. Wait a minute. Alma snuck by. I didn't see. If they don't know how to Venmo, they shouldn't be in Congress. Well, we should say if they do know how to Venmo and those receipts are suspect, they definitely shouldn't be in Congress. Yeah, e-begging Nader. Donald is a Nepo baby. Without Fred Trump, he'd have nothing. Every business he had, stakes to airlines, to casinos, they all failed. He is horrible at doing the business. And he's only wealthy because his dad was a conniving, racist SOB businessman who left him all his money. Retirement 55. Yeah, retirement 55. 55. All right, guys, listen. I'm at my location. I gotta run a couple errands. All right, but I'd like to go live later because this Roblox thing is important. Video down below. The how Trump bankrupted 6 casinos. Yeah, B Moon. He bankrupted all his casinos. Like, how do you bankrupt a casino? And we went over the story. You can go watch my old video on the live stream of how Fred, his dad, was trying to, give him basically what they deemed illegal loans by bringing checks in for bringing in like $300,000 and getting chips for it. So just giving him cash, taking the chips and not playing with it and leaving. And he was caught. They were caught before his casino failed. So thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. Politicians shouldn't get salaries, only necessities, and the average median income from where they live, and paid commission on accomplishments and approval ratings. Eric Cooley, hit subscribe and the notification bell. I like that. Yeah, politicians should get their median income from where they are. You know, that's what they should have to live on. They already get houses from us and travel on us and all. They get health care and gym membership and all this stuff, and they shouldn't. They should have everything that we have. And you know how quick we'll get guaranteed paid time off and guaranteed sick time as soon as we make them earn it like we do. They can't just when the speaker Mike Johnson dismissed Congress because they didn't want to release the Epstein files. Like, they just get to go home and they're paid and they'll do fine. They don't worry about rent or the price of eggs like you and I do. It's surreal. But if we implement that shit, they'll be like, oh, these people shouldn't have to earn their sick time. Think about that concept. You have to earn time to be sick at work. That is fucked. And that's very American. And I'm so anti that. I hate it. You're right. For everyone who says I'm a hater, I hate that. Good wage, or they're easier to bribe. Oh, B Moon, that's adorable. It doesn't matter what you pay them. You could give them $8 billion a year. Look at Donald Trump, right? He was rich going into office because of his last thing, where he's selling Teslas on the lawn and Bibles and guitars and what are those things? The virtual baseball cards with his body on, I mean, his head on some other dude's body. Talk about gender affirming. Jesus. Elon Musk putting hair on his head. All these Republicans are doing gender affirming stuff. It's bewildering. They're against it. But Donald Trump, imagine putting your face on another dude's body and like having people buy those photos. That's hilarious. I should do that on this channel. I'll put my head on the body that Donald Trump put on and sell it. What a scam. But it doesn't matter what you pay them. It doesn't matter how much money, because again, they're infected with this disease called greed. And that's why he ran his Donald Trump shitcoin, his meme coin, and rug pulled all his own fan base, you know? It doesn't matter. So there's no getting those bribes out of it. It's about regulating it, so they have to do it the same way we do, you know? What is going on in the chat? Extreme capitalism is destroying everything. Yeah. 100%, Timothy. All right. So, remember, higher education should be free. Healthcare should be paid for by billionaires' taxes and our taxes if you want. I'm dead set on no more billionaires. Tax them into extinction. Like Jesus said, for all you people who claim to worship Christ and then don't care about the book, you must help the weak, okay? When was the last time you've seen any Republican do that? Jesus Christ. Jesus, Lord, help them see the ways, because I'm trying to get through to them. But it's like they're all got thick skulls, like my mom used to say. Rest her soul. Housing is a civil right. Thank you, Michelle. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. I go live every single weekday. And with comments like that, I need you in here more often. We need more people thinking like that. Housing is a human right. It's a shelter. Look at my live stream yesterday. Go listen to FDR talking about how every American should have housing, a better education, healthcare, enjoying their healthcare, and recreation. That is like basic shit, man. Again, I've known a lot of people pass away and none of them put their fucking job title on their gravestone, okay? So stop pretending that your economic stuff is anything other than your hatred for other people, your fear of other people, or enjoying other people's suffering. That's all it is. And we see right through it, okay? So Michelle, you hit that subscribe button, because we're forming a huge community here. Huge. We're going to be 1 million strong. All right. And we're going to teach people how to organize, and we're going to teach people to be deprogrammed from the propaganda that they've been sold and bought into for decades, because they've heard nothing different. I like to tell people, and feel free to use this for yourself, I like to tell people, not only am I a vibe coach, remember there used to be life coaches? I just reworded it. I said, I'm your vibe coach. And usually most people don't need it, but some of these Republicans and the MAGAs do. Their vibes are off. But again, they support Epstein Island to Donald Trump, who was Epstein's best friend, and he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. So yeah, their vibes are off. But you're never too old to learn, to learn something new. But I like to tell people, I'm planting seeds. Planting seeds in your brain. You can't unhear this. Can't unhear it. So you guys can be mad. Some of you people are just so mad in the comments. But I'm here every single weekday pushing for a better tomorrow. I grew up hearing adults be like, I want it better for my kids. I want it better for my kids. And now I hear all these adults saying like, suck it. You should have to pay off that predatory loan. And like, these people are horrible humans. Horrible humans. Those Epstein vibes. Yuck. Yep. Yuck. Yuck. All right, guys. So be kind to each other. Remember what Jesus said, Love your neighbor. And who's your neighbor? Who did Jesus teach us our neighbor was? Everybody. Everybody's your neighbor. So when you see these leaders in power saying like, we need to criminalize the homeless and we need to criminalize mental health and addiction, or we'll spend $1 billion on a prison in Texas like they're doing with our tax money, instead of spending $1 billion to provide housing for those who are houseless, or food for those who are hungry, or school lunch for those kids who are hungry at school. You ever tried to learn while you're hungry? Don't fucking work. But be careful of those people. Those are sheep in wolf's clothing. They're fucking no good. Samuel, I'm going to actually put you in timeout. Come back tomorrow and try again. When you say shit like lock up the homeless, my youngest brother's homeless. Okay? I love my brother to dear, dear life. And I would do anything to try and help him. I've done everything. I've spent my last dime. And my brother's been homeless for over 10 years. Okay? And when he was 15, our father took his life, and he found him. And he was the one that tried to resuscitate him. And with no health care and no safety nets in this country, my brother, God bless him, he rode his bike to SeaWorld to work and tried to become an animal husbandry expert. He worked his ass off. But if you can imagine at 15 losing your father in that way, right in your arms, and having no help, no guaranteed health care, no mental health help, and having all that happen, it shattered him from the inside, and he could never recover. And he's been homeless for a decade. His only crimes in certain states are just being homeless. And when you say shit like that, you show what lack of fucking humanity you have. And it's so disgusting. And I'm sick of people like you. So in fact, if you don't come back tomorrow, good. I have no compassion for these people who just enjoy others' suffering. I'm Gold Leader. I was homeless, been there. I had to trap rabbits to eat. Eventually, I finally asked for the help I needed. Thank God for my family. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that you're back on it. I would say that, thank God for your family too, My brother didn't have much family, and the family, we had some extended family that definitely helped him, and I did everything I could, but like Michelle said, not everyone has family. That's one of the last times I argued with some knucklehead on Twitter. And he was like, you just stay with your parents until you could buy a house. I was like, what about the people without parents? He was like, who doesn't have parents? And I was like, you never seen Batman, you fucking dummy? Batman was an orphan. Oh, he's a rich one, but you know what I'm saying. Jeff, you can go suck a fart out of Trump's butt. How about that? Working on your sympathies. I share my story, and I've shared my story for decades. And I don't expect you to be sympathetic at all. You're a hardo that as soon as something happens to you, you start crying about it. Some of you fucking punks are the ones that get all offended when we say everyone should have a home, which is so crazy to me. But feel free to fucking keep scrolling. You understand me? Please leave the maggots in the chat. I'd like to play with them, B-Moon. I respect your style. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Darren K, absolutely right. Just despicable. People who don't see that them themselves could be out of a home. You never know when it could happen. Listen, I've been homeless a few times in my life. And again, I share my story, but most of the time we joke about the news. But when I have to, I share my story because people come in here chirping like they know everything, and they've never lived a day of suffering. Some of these people still live with their parents. Some of these people are lucky enough to have, family to help them through. And it's those people that are usually the cold and ruthless ones, because in the circles that I've lived in, and the people that I know, the people who have suffered the most go out of their way the most to ensure it doesn't happen to people again. And that's why this story, like Schlepp, this YouTuber, who's like, it happened to me, and I want to go on Roblox and make sure no other kid gets harmed while I have, some power over it. And that was like so touching to see this young kid being like, I'm dedicating myself to this because I understand that. That's why every single day I'm going to be on here saying, like, if there's 26 empty houses for every homeless person in America, why the fuck aren't we housing the homeless? Because some people, need a profit? Get out of here. There's a lot of people because of homeless because of natural disasters. Yup. Michelle Schlepp, such a cute name. Is definitely a 20-something-year-old name. CEOs in 2023 making 290 times more than the average worker compared to 21 times in 1965. Thank you, Liz F. I love those stats because are they working 290 times harder? No, most of them aren't. Most of them are pampered fucking babies. Eat them. Eat them. Free Luigi. What's up? Don't feed the Yagwai. Oh, good to see you. I love that name. Your handle cheers me up. Let me tell you that. B. Dalton, good to know there's still compassionate and empathetic souls out there. Thank you for this. Well, let me tell you this, B. Dalton. I need you to hit subscribe. I need you to hit the notification bell, okay? Because I go live every weekday. And if you're one of the compassionate souls, there are more of us than there are of these soul-sucking demon, fart-sucking poo-poo heads, okay? These turd burglars, these asshats. There's more of us compassionate ones. It's just these crybabies are so loud and just want to implement their will at everything they're scared of. And all their accusations are just admissions. So there's more of us than there are Steve Bannons and Stephen Millers and these new Nazis. Remember, be proud to be an anti-fascist, okay? Antifa is everyone who fought in World War II for America, okay? Remember what side we were on. Until the war. Anyways, I can't go down that rabbit hole. But B. Dalton, hit subscribe because I'm building a community here. We're gonna fucking teach. We're gonna plant a lot of seeds, okay? And I need you to be a part of that. That's what I'm trying to show people. This is why since the early 2000s in radio, I've always spoken out, always, and I'll never stop. As many people tell me to shut up or make fun of me, or there was some dude, Bo Sneed, in the comments that I had to comment back. He said, look at your video with 24 views, another L for you. And he's trying to bully me. And I said, bitch, you can't bully me. You don't understand. And let these people know, like, you can try to bully all you want, but that shit don't affect me. So I replied to his comment. And I said, guess what? I got videos with less than 24 views. What's your point? I'm making this comment and you're watching it all the time. And you're hating that I'm advocating for people. Advocating for people to what? Not have medical debt, not have school debt, have a house, eat food. You are a soulless vampire if you can't get behind that. Why? Because some rich guy told you, But we need more people in here. Calling you out for being a goofball isn't a soy boy. Oh, Timothy, that's okay. No, he wasn't calling me out for being a goofball. He was trying to bully me into saying, oh, look, your video has no views. Again, it's okay. I don't give a shit. We could joke around, but what I'm saying is, like, this dude specifically comes to every single live, keeps leaving comments. And what I want them to know is, like, this is what I replied to him. It's like, you're just scared. You're scared. At least I got 24 views. It's better than your 0. Go create your shit. Go start your own platform. Go out there. YouTube's free. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. Go out there and make your videos. Charlie Kirk's making a ton of money telling people that you should hate everybody and somehow doing it in Jesus's name. Like, there's a ton of grifters out there. Go do your own thing. But don't fucking sit there and try to bully the guy doing it, This is the epitome of being a loser. We have more important things to take care of than some troll-ass bitch. Don't feed the Yagwai. What we want for the American people is to be the smartest, strongest people we could be. 100%. I never understand people who say America's number one, but then they don't want us educated. They don't want us the healthiest. They want us to have more people in prison than anywhere else in the world. Like, guys, it's really surreal that you can see a fact like we pay more for healthcare than any other first world nation, and our life expectancy is declining. That's just what's happening in America. And somehow people are like, you're not going to pay with healthcare with my taxes. It's like, you dummy, you're included in that. Your taxes would also pay for yours. But these people are so selfish and vapid and so fucking living in a box of MAGA. Like that MAGA hat they put on pollutes and rots their brain to see anything else. B. Moon, the grifters like Trump and Kirk give Christians a bad name. Well, there's more than just that give them a bad name. I would say, there's a lot of people. Joel Osteen really gives Christians a bad name. A lot of these churchgoers that supported Trump to utilize him to implement their will in the politic sphere, Remember, when Jesus walked this earth, he wasn't the fucking religion. He was a poor Jewish dude with a carpenter dad, and then his dad died. He never carried cash. He didn't have a big home. And he said, it's harder for a rich man to get in heaven than it is for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. And these motherfuckers are out here. Well, I've had conversations with these rich assholes where they told me that's the only part of the Bible they didn't support. And I said, I wonder why. Liz F. On my soul. Why don't you go look back and see who stood up for your free speech? We do not seek to lock those up who disagree with what we say. Only leftists should get food, housing, fair pay, due process. That's right, Liz. We're not saying it's just for us. But Liz, let this be a lesson, right? When people say that, they're telling you how they see the world. They're telling you how selfish they are and how wrapped up in themselves and their fears. They're so scared that other people would get it and they would get left out. That's why they enjoy people's suffering. Again, life wisdom, hit subscribe and notification bell. When people talk like that, they're telling you who they are in not so many words. They're saying, well, I'm scared that if you get it, I won't get it. And what they don't understand is us radical woke leftists want universal healthcare. Universal. That you're in the universe. Little hint. But again, they don't have good comprehension of anything, so fucking dummies. Glitchy Rhythm, I'm not even going to read your comment because it's so dumb. Just fucking move on, okay? I don't think there's hope for some people. Yeah, Timothy, I'm not even addressing it. Just some people are so stupid. Like, that's the other thing. Sometimes I read comments and I go, wow, that's what you took away from this? Fuck, man. Go get your GED. We need your comprehension to get beyond that. That dude. Free healthcare. You'll be on wood. You'll be on wood never seen by a doctor. The dude. That dude, whatever your name is. That's a great excuse. Good excuse. You still want that medical debt, you still want to lose your house, like a dude in the chat was saying. You still want to lose your house because you just be on hold. Fuck, get out of here. Again, guys, this is so hilarious. On my soul, I don't think there's hope for you. Yeah, I'm stuck in an echo chamber. I love this comment. Yeah, my echo chamber, right? You hear a lot of the mainstream media saying we should provide housing for people. It will save money on the taxpayers instead of criminalizing them. You hear a lot of lamestream media and politicians saying universal health care, don't you? You hear a lot of politicians saying tax the billionaires into extinction, don't you, on my? Like, that's what I mean. It's like some of these people are just so dumb. And I got to take some time to point it out. We already talked about the news. Hunter Biden told Melania to go fuck herself. Roblox CEO David Zazbek, suck it up, Buttercup. David, suck it up, Buttercup, who's worth 8.1 billion, kicked off Schlepp, the YouTuber who is catching predators. Instead of giving him a job, Roblox, give him a job. Hire that guy. He's doing good work for you. And then what was the other news? I don't even remember. But we already talked about the news. But it's so funny when people talk about an echo chamber. Like, you fucking dummy. You know how hard it is? This is why you hear the MAGAs so loud, because all they're doing is yes manning the president. They're yes manning the establishment. You understand that on my. Right now, all the maggots that you hear, they're safe because they're just going, yes, whatever you say, Donald, yes. The Epstein lists are gone. Yes, yes. Look at Dan Vagina, right? He looks defeated, like his soul got sucked through his butt. That dude, I mean, these people are just yesing the establishment to death. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The people who are speaking truth right now and advocating for the most vulnerable in our society are the ones in danger. And you're like, oh, it's an echo chamber. Yeah, because every time I turn on the news, all you hear is them saying tax billionaires into extinction. Everyone should be fine being a 999 millionaire. On my, do you fucking talk to real people ever? Or do you just go on YouTube chats where you have an echo chamber and people are like, yeah, we should just make everyone suffer. That's what makes a country great. Like, fucking dumb, dude. No tax on tips. What a joke. Yeah, thank you, Schofield. Number one, the tax cut for corporations doesn't expire. It's permanent. Tax on tips expires 2028. But moreover than that, the economy sucks so bad that even Vegas is reporting they're not even getting tips. No one's coming there. And if you really wanted to be for the working class, I've said this since before it happened, because people would go, no tax on tips, he cares about us. No, he doesn't. He doesn't give a shit about you. He would do a little presidential memo, one of his executive orders, and raise the minimum wage, which hasn't moved federally since 2009. If he cared about you, he would just raise the wage. Jesus. All right, guys. JMO, with a comment like that, you know, you got to have some kind of hope, some creativity. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Much love. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Solus, Timothy, Alma, CJ, Chief,